So last night on our Afterthought Duo Twitch channel, we had reacted and watched the Catalina video called My Truth, in which Catalina comes on to her YouTube channel and gives her side of the whole Kenneth situation, how she was feeling, and overall her thoughts, and basically that she wasn't the single bad guy in this situation. She starts the video by apologizing, saying she apologizes to Kenneth. She apologizes to everybody on the internet that she may have harmed. She tries to clear up rumors, things that she said are false, like the snow cone allegations, the things that she was going to a mental hospital. Just overall trying to clear up the air on things that she believes to not be true. But after this is where it starts to get a little crazy, and you'll see what I mean when I bring up examples. She then, after the apologies and clearing up the drama, then associates everything with mental health, and then goes on to say that Kenneth was not perfect in the relationship, and the video then just turns into her just essentially getting it off about Kenneth and all of his abusive and narcissistic tendencies, to the point where it kind of came off a little odd. She said she was trauma bonded to him. She said that he was abusive mentally, verbally, and she even alleged that he assaulted them one night when they were both drunk. She added the location, she had pictures, everything you would need to try and incriminate Kenneth as much as she could. And then she ends off with the video by asking for forgiveness and saying that she is willing to change and that she wants to keep her Twitch career, her streaming career, her content creator career going as long as people are allowing her, and that she doesn't think that she's beyond forgiveness. Throughout the video, we had our thoughts, we had concerns. At the end of the day, we were trying our best to hold her accountable for the things that she was doing, because not only is cheating wrong, but cheating with a blood relative is also just as bad. We also tried to bring to light that she was trying to find solace, trying to find happiness in somebody else, where she believed Kenneth was not bringing it. We would say things like, oh, we have feelings that related to her staying in this relationship, staying in a house that she's not paying for, and staying there because she's getting some things from Kenneth and then some things from her cousin, so she felt like she didn't have the need to switch around. We also had the thoughts of that Kenneth had narcissistic behavior, but you would note that a lot of the things that she was bringing, a lot of the evidence she was pulling, was from 2024, which this is a 2026 incident. This is a situation that ballooned of June of this year. So a lot of the evidence she was bringing of him being a narcissist, the evidence she was bringing that she had anger issues, was from 2024. But just because it was from 2024 doesn't mean we didn't have to give it the, the leeway or the attention that it needed. Well, overall, I think we came out of that video with the thoughts of, yes, Catalina is not beyond change. Nobody is beyond change, and that if she wants to move better, wants to change herself going forward, that she can. The same is outstanded to Kenneth, because even if the Kenneth allegations were true, no one's beyond redemption, no one's beyond change. And our closing sentiments were also that these two people should not be interacting anymore. These two people should not be in a relationship anymore. These two people are clearly toxic for each other, and the situation should break off as soon as all these videos are over.
The main thing I got from it was like, it's just one of those things, like, I felt like she was too young to get into a relationship like that anyway, probably getting out the house like that and just depending on another man. And if so, it was just like the immaturity of her in that relationship, just not knowing how to view narcissistic behavior and get away from it. And the fact that she stayed is kind of weird. That's how it was so weird to me. I feel like if a man really did everything you claimed and how you framed it up to be, there's no way you stay with somebody that SH you.
I mean, like she said, like it was a trauma bond.
Yeah,
so
I feel like she just framed it up in such a way that if bro can debunk this, if Kenneth can debunk this, like it's gonna be like he's gonna have to have everything on the same timeline. Like timelines have to match. Like he has to have stuff from 2024. He has to debunk everything. Now, do I think he can debunk the narcissistic behavior that he had? Probably the only thing he can't debunk. But I'm saying like the serious allegations, like he has to have the time points to match, or something has to be like real deal evidence.
Right. Now let's get into what most people are here for. Kenneth has released his own counter argument to the video called Addressing the Allegations, in which he goes over her video and then tries to go and dissect everything in her video, making sure that everything lines up with what he believes and that she doesn't get any slander or anything off on her name. But real quick, if you are new to this channel and you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. We are live reacting to this on Twitch as we speak. The Twitch link will be in the description. And with that being said, let's get straight into the video.
Catalina, there's no way out of this one. I'm sorry, but you're done. You're finished. So apparently Kat has dropped a video titled My Truth. But honestly, Kat has dropped a video titled My Truth, but the whole video's fucking lies. So how the fuck does that work? I'm not not gonna lie, Cat, you fucked with the wrong one. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will sit here and fucking lie on my fucking name, bro. Hell nah. Alright, so the demon has dropped the video, My Truth. For whatever fucking reason, it has 2.8 thousand likes. Y'all niggas are sick in the head. Y'all niggas really let yourself get manipulated by this demon, bro. By this fucking demon. Let's get into it.
Hello everyone, I am here to say my truth and share my story on the things that have been released on the internet and the things that have happened.
You watching this on 1.5 too?
I want to start off by taking
My
full
mama,
accountability
he
for what
mad
I
as
did.
hell.
I want to start off by apologizing.
He was trying to get this shit out as quick as he could.
Which was my ex. I want to say sorry to my supporters that I disappointed. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of, and I have to own up to them. To my ex, I'm so sorry for hurting you, and I'm sorry that I did not take your feelings into consideration when I did what I did. But our relationship was not picture perfect.
Alright, I'm sorry for fucking, you know what? I'm sorry for cheating on you with my cousin, but our relationship wasn't perfect, so that's the reason why I did so. I'm sorry for sending my cousin pictures of my ass, titties, and fucking cooch on your living room couch and in your restroom and on my bed, but you know what? Because our relationship wasn't okay, that excuses it.
Yeah, I will say, this is the same sentiment we had last night. It's the same sentiment we have now. She can come and make this video. She can say everything she wants to say, but at the end of the day, these were the decisions she decided to make. These are the decisions she decided to choose to do inside of somebody else's home, in their house, in their bathroom, in their space. At the end of the day, that is unexcusable. It really is. She can apologize all she wants. She can do everything possible, but this will still be something that will be forever on her jacket.
I think it just being a cousin just added so much fuel to the fire that, like, this is a fire that will not go out for a long time.
I'm sorry that you had to find my cousin's cock in my camera roll, but you know what? It's okay, because our relationship wasn't okay in the first place. And that right there is the work of the reputation saver that you was emailing and your fucking YouTube.
Hold on now.
Oh, he got real. Hold up. Says, hi, Catalina. My name is Blankety Blank, and I work in brand strategy, public relations, and crisis management. So this is a crisis management, basically somebody for good PR. I don't think we need to go above that, but she was reaching out for somebody to repair her PR because she knew she was in a fucked up situation.
Yeah, I recently became aware of the situation surrounding allegations and the resulting public discussion online. While I understand this is a likely and overwhelmingly stressful moment, I wanted to reach out because there is still a path to protecting both your reputation and your long-term career. One of the first things that stood out to me was the decision to delete your social media accounts. While that reaction is understandable, given the volume of attention and criticism, it also creates an unintended narrative vacuum. In the absence of communication, audiences fill in the blank themselves, and many interpret the silence or disappearance as confirmation rather than strategy. The reality is that public perception is rarely shaped by a single event. It is shaped by how the event is handled afterward. My approach will focus on 3 priorities. 1, stabilizing the narrative. Rather than allowing speculation to dominate the conversation, we would establish a controlled communication strategy that prevents further escalation and limits misinformation. 2, reputation preservation. The goal is simply not responding to the current controversy, but protecting future opportunities, partnerships, and audience trust. Every public action from this point forward should support a long-term recovery plan. Number 3, strategic reintroduction. Whether through a statement, content strategy, media management, or audience engagement plan, the objective would be to rebuild credibility over time rather than act emotionally to short-term criticism. I have developed a comprehensive recovery strategy that I can significantly improve the current situation and help position you to a successful return to your audience when the timing is appropriate. If you're open to a conversation, I'd be happy to discuss my assessment and walk through the recovery framework I've outlined. I understand this is a challenging moment, but reputations are often defined less by the controversy itself and more by how leaders navigate the response. I'll look forward to hearing from you. Best regards. This is, for long story short, someone who reached out to Catalina, or Catalina reached out and they responded, to the point where this person was like, I'm here, I can help. This is a situation where you don't have to ruin yourself, your image, or anything. Essentially like a YouTube lawyer, where they're like, okay, you're in a bad spot. I can see that you're in a bad spot. This is how you reflect, because I know how the internet works. I know how the internet interprets things. I know how the internet moves. So if you do the right things in the right order at the right time, we can save you from this. That's essentially what this paragraph, but this Gmail message is trying to say.
And you're fucking YouTube.
And then she responds by saying, hello, I'm interested. Hey, Catalina, I have attached the Zoom link above. Thanks again for reaching out earlier. I apologize. So she reached out. I apologize that I couldn't give the conversation the attention that it deserved at the time, which is why I wanted to set aside dedicated time today. In the meantime, try not to let these noises online overwhelm you. Situations like this can feel much bigger when you're in the middle of them, but they're rarely as irreversible as they seem. My job is to look at this strategically instead of emotionally, and I genuinely believe there is a path forward. We'll go through everything step by step and focus on what we can control from this point on. So yeah, she had PR in her corner.
Which in a situation like her is not a bad thing to do. It's just like the way she went about it and the things that like did PR come up with the stunt to deflect this towards Kenneth, or was that her?
I mean, it had to be a combination of both, right? Because at the end of the day, even if it's their idea, it is up to you to ultimately come online and record this video. It's ultimately up to you to come online and post this video. It's ultimately up to you to get in front of this camera, hit the record button, get somebody to come through, edit it, and then you put it online. At the end of the day, you have some sort of accountability to this. So yeah, even if it was not her directly, maybe if it was partially on her, some of them, like, she's not excused from, you know, attacking this strategically. And I'm not saying you shouldn't attack this strategically, but what you will see, because I'm being honest, I've already seen a little bit of this because this is a pretty much unavoidable situation. This video starts as an apology and then quickly turns into, hey, this is everything Kenneth does wrong. So that clearly was part of strategy. So I can't get behind that. This should have been a simple, I'm sorry for what I've done and I take accountability for my own actions. Instead, it turned into, I'm sorry, I'm trying to hold myself accountable for these actions, but this guy ain't a saint either. Like I said in our video and our stream last night, it seems like Catalina is basically grabbing this man by ankles as she falls to hell. That's damn near exactly what I said. So let's get back to it.
Bruh, he told me that the moment I exposed you, that you was emailing people trying to figure out ways how to come back from this shit, bruh. You was emailing people discussing ways on how to just push the whole cousin freakery aside and just bring something new to light. And it's like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, you really gonna try to ruin me because you got caught cheating on your cousin. I'm innocent. I didn't do shit.
There's more to my story, and there's a lot of lies and misinformation being spread about me.
Okay.
In order to farm more hate and negativity towards my name. And I would like to clear up a lot of things. First, I want to address the note that was released online. I did not have any involvement in creating it or writing.
It was a shared note, bro, on Apple phones.
Look. Last night when we watched this on stream, right? When she said that, I didn't know what she meant when she said no. So I just glossed over it. I just let it play over. But if she's talking about the Apple note, in which we watched in the other video that is up on our channel, where it would have that list of all the things they wanted to do to each other. You pointed out how she had it, and I also pointed out how it was also a shared note. Something that she had to accept, even if she didn't add anything to it. She accepted it, and let it sit on her phone. So I can't give you no leeway to the fact that just because you didn't put anything on that list, allegedly, that you still didn't have that in your phone, it wasn't something you accepted, and that even if it wasn't something you liked, after the fact that you got it accepted into your phone and saw the contents on the list, you still left it there, you didn't change anything, you didn't call it out. So I can't give any leeway to that specifically at all. So this is a mute point to me.
So that's one debunk so far. See how many he get.
You have a bucket list with your cousin, bro. Like, come on, bro. Some of the stuff that's on there doesn't even make sense if he wrote it from his point of view. The internet is not that stupid.
In anyway, it was only shared to me. And I also want to make this very clear. I did not have any sexual intercourse with anybody outside of my relationship. There was a rumor going around that I was cheating my entire relationship, and I've been doing this for months, which is completely false.
Hey, first of all, hold on. First of all, there's clips on the internet of you literally admitting, confessing your love for your cousin.
But back when I was like, I don't even know the age.
We saw this in other videos though.
I was just hitting puberty. Me and my cousin,
L story, yep, get
we
to
kind
the
of had a
point.
thing. We kind of had a thing going. But like, it was kind of one-sided though. It was more so me. But like, I remember like, I had a big crush on this nigga because we were best friends. And at the time, being best friends with a guy when I'm just hitting puberty and like my hormones are a little bit like peaking, you know what I'm saying?
See, this is a lot of things that are coming out of her own world. Her mouth. It was more so me. I kind of had a crush on this nigga, and then she attributed it to puberty and being best friends.
It's just one of those things, like, when we talked about it too last time, it's just like, most of the things, it's like, it seems like she was the aggressor towards the cousin in the beginning, like, anyway. So, like, and that's one of the main things, like, even when she dropped her video, which we already watched, she never gave the true timeline on what transpired with her and the cousin. There's not really any transparency in her side of the storytelling. It's just, I have this and this and this happened, and I'm sorry and I apologize. It's really all we got out of it.
Yeah, and based off all the evidence we've seen, she has had developed feelings for this guy since she was around puberty age. So somewhere around 12, 13 years old, maybe even 11. We'll just upscale it and say 13. So she's had, in her own words, a crush on this guy since she was a lowly teenager, and regardless of not if that never manifested into something in that moment, it definitely manifested into something later, to the point where you're in a whole relationship at 18, 19 years old, and you're texting this guy to make up that romantic gap, that sentimental gap that you weren't experiencing for Kenneth. That's what makes it so crazy, is that this is somebody who has been in your life since probably forever, and who has been around as a cousin. So for you to have this like bond to the point where you're in somebody else's house, you're taking explicit videos, you're taking explicit photos, while your so-and-so boyfriend that you love so much is in the other room, is sickening. And like I said, you can't shake that off. That's something that like can't be excused. But let's get back into it.
Well, we've been dating for 2 years and some change, and you're on stream talking about how you have feelings for your cousins. You found him attractive when I was younger. You don't know if it was your hormones taking over, but now the fact that you cheated on me with your cousin, this means that every single time you told me that you left to go hang out with your family, that you left to Kentucky to go stream at this the biggest world fucking roller coaster in the world, you was with your cousin. Because I have proof of that too. Like, you was in the hotel room with your cousin. You kept on telling me you was going on these trips. You went to Puerto Rico with your cousin. You went everywhere with your cousin, and it's like, bruh, like,
it's like, what are you supposed to believe?
Cheated on me recently, right? This only happened last month, right? Okay,
Yeah,
but you know, I guess you just get to excuse that, I guess.
I'm not trying to make anything I've done sound any better, but I think it's important that I share my truth because of the insane.
You kind of are, though.
Spread about me on the internet. Firstly, I want to clear up that I wasn't disowned by anybody, and I still have a great relationship with my mother. This was a fallacious rumor that was started by someone that I thought was a friend, and is completely untrue. My family does not agree with the choices that I made, but they're standing beside me as I continue to get help and work to better myself. I also want to talk about.
First of all, even though I'm in the right 100% for leaving you and talking about how I feel because you cheated on me with your cousin, you know, your parents were literally calling me and threatening me to delete that video because I don't know, they were threatening me with so much stuff that was just so uncalled for, and I don't know, it just seems like they're more biased to you than what's actually going on. Like, I think the fact that you're making this video right now, and I don't know, man. Let me just keep watching the video, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say to you, I think that seemed like that might be a part of the problem. Her getting away with everything she does. Like, the fact that your parents ain't have no type of like, yeah, you need to just stop that. Like, that you need to just get away from that. Like, calm down. Like, the fact that it like, there's no type of, I don't know, like, what do you even say? If that was your child, what do you even say to her?
I will be honest. It's a situation where you gotta sit them down. You gotta sit the cousin down as well. This person doesn't need to be deflecting or avoiding any of this problems. They need to be sat down, probably in two separate areas, and told, hey, this is wrong. I'm sorry it had to be this way, but this is wrong objectively. And that you need to sit your ass down for a while. Simply put, if you need help, we'll get you help. If there's things you need to talk about that we clearly have missed over the years, then we can talk about it. But for right now, you need to sit your ass down.
The parents ain't doing no. The fact, I would say, just like you said, the fact that she even responded this quick and put out this video, which is basically probably a PR stunt. Like, the fact that her parents allowed her to do this and they didn't care that she did it. This is like deepening the hole that was already created. Because so far, he's putting up Braun numbers right now as far as debunking. He's debunked half the stuff you already brought up already. And as further we keep going, I'm pretty sure he's gonna keep hooping. So,
in the original video we reacted to last night, she ends the video off by saying that she wants to return to streaming, that she doesn't want to put the camera down, is that she wants to keep doing content creation. So yeah, at the end of the day, this is more or less an attempt to save face. It's an attempt to get yourself back in the limelight in some way, shape, form, or fashion. In order, the way you scripted this, the way you structured it, the order in which you recorded everything, it makes it seem like, okay, since majority of this video is going to be trash talking Kenneth, That's what everybody's going to focus on. That's what everybody's going to be pressed on. That's what everybody who sees this video is going to be stuck on. The problem with that is a lot of people aren't slow. And a lot of people, like I said last night, are probably not going to watch this video. They're probably only watch the original Kenneth, and they're probably not going to watch the next two. So for this to be the solution, for this to be the actions in which she takes, is eyebrow raising. Simply put, it's eyebrow raising. Because everything we've seen so far, from the Gmails to how she's attacking it and the script she keeps looking over to the side to read, is clearly an attempt to get herself back in her graces, because it comes off as, I still want to be in the limelight. I kind of don't care for this nigga right now. I'm emotionally shut off for this nigga right now. I just want to be back in the good graces of the public.
He alleged that I did not want to publicly claim him, and I wanted to hide our relationship from the internet. But in reality, in the first year of us being together, we actually had a popular couple page. And the real reason on why I wanted to go private was because at the time, I had a lot of people actively telling me to leave him.
And I wish I had iCloud Pro or iCloud Plus, bro, because I'm scrolling through my phone trying to bring the proof. This girl literally would make excuses not to post me because her fucking fan base was majority guys. She kept on telling me that she had a lot of mods that would gift her subs, and she would use them, bruh. She would literally use y'all, bruh. She would literally take y'all money and fucking I don't know what type of operation she had going on, but bro, she didn't want to post me because of all her male fans. She didn't want to talk about me. I ain't gonna lie, we broke up like 5+ times in our whole relationship, and 99.9% of the times we broke up, she ran to the internet to talk about the breakup, to talk about whatever happened, and it's just so weird, bro. But
right, because last night when we were reacting to the original video, she was calling out Kenneth for being weird and odd. The fact that he brought this to the internet, she was calling him out for being weird and being odd for, you know, posting that original video. And me and you both agreed last night that, hey, y'all are both people who live on the internet. Y'all are both people who make content. Y'all are both people who stream, both people who post TikToks, both people who post Instagram Reels. So the fact that he came out on the internet to talk about his relationship problems is not something out of the ordinary. It's not something out of the loop for people who live this lifestyle. So that being your counter argument or your condemning is actually crazy, and it's hypocrisy, because at the end of the day, you've done it before and you're doing it right now, which is why we had to react to that video last night.
I also want to make it clear that any cousin or stepbrother or any content like that we made together was his idea, and he convinced me to do it.
Say wallahi! Yo, like I said, bro, she did not want the internet to know that she had a boyfriend because it would make her lose followers. She kept on telling me that, and I wish I had screenshots from when, bro. I don't know what's going on my iCloud. I'm trying to get messages from like early 2024 to 23, but I can't, bro. But I promise y'all, she would not want to post me. You could go on her page. She never had videos of me. It was always me, bro. I literally kept on telling her, why don't you post me? Why don't you post me? And she confessed this one time saying, my followers are majority males. They would unfollow me. I would lose all my followers, etc., etc., etc. She's sick in the head, bro.
It is my belief that suicide in any form should be taken serious and never lightly. While I understand the streaming business and the need to say crazy things in order to get clicks and impressions, the thought that somebody's personal struggle with suicide can be used by anybody for jokes and views is disgusting and cruel. While I've been off the net, it was brought to my attention that the streamer Snowcone made up a false rumor that I admitted myself into a suicide facility in order to get attention from my ex. I was involuntarily admitted into a suicide facility because...
All right, so first of all, this was like 5 days before I posted my video, and basically what happened was she kept on blowing up my phone, spamming my phone, no caller ID.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. She knew she was deep fried. She knew.
I mean, I'm not gonna read all of this, but the gist of these messages is essentially, I'm so sorry, I'll do better.
No, you gotta read this first one though. Under the big paragraph, you gotta read that one. That says everything right there. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy.
I'll pay for everything. I'll take us places. I'll take us to Mexico. I'll get you in the streaming university. I'll get you the Hellcat you wanted. I'll get you the golden doodle you wanted. I'll get you the world. You don't have to do anything for me anymore. Nothing. Just please, I need you. So obviously this is somebody who realized they messed up in the moment and was trying to repair the relationship almost immediately. You know how we watched the video originally of hers, and she brought up all the Kenneth paragraphs and all the letters he wrote. This is essentially the same thing, but in the form of Discord.
Full circle, bro.
Which is why this relationship was never going to work if these are the responses and these are the methods people take, especially these two. Because at the end of the day, this is a toxic relationship. This is a relationship that shouldn't have gone as far as it did, and this is a relationship that to be honest, the internet should not know this much about. But because we have these two toxic individuals, which one you want to say is more toxic than the other, that's up to you to decide. Obviously, one, has sexual intercourse with a cousin, so you do that, but you will. But it's gotten to the point where we're making a video on this. We're watching paragraphs that we shouldn't see. We're seeing mental hospital documents that we shouldn't be seeing overall because these two people are, being toxic.
And then the moment she got out, she literally posted it on the internet. That's a personal thing that nobody had to know.
Okay, let's look at it. After 5 days of imprisonment, I finally been released from the blank facility. They treat you like an animal and take away your freedom to do anything. I'm finally free.
That's sympathy farming. That's not something that needs to be on the internet. And I don't know what else to say, bro.
Or anybody else. I want to say to Snow Cone that while I understand I'm not perfect and I've done wrong, regardless of the mistakes that a person makes, that doesn't give you or anybody else the right to belittle, lie, and create false allegations about somebody's mental health. Throughout all of this, you've lied and made up rumors about me in order to hate farm me and get attention. Even though you don't care, I want to let you know that the rumors you created have garnered me more death threats and have made my mental battle that much harder. And that hurts from someone I considered a close friend. Me and my ex were involved in a toxic and abusive relationship.
Toxic and abusive. You see how the shift went from,
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry for sending my cousin nudes. I'm sorry that you had to walk in on me showing my bare ass and my bare ass cheeks to my cousin on FaceTime. To me and my ex had a very toxic relationship and it was very abusive. But you know what? Let's see what I did.
Our relationship was built on unhealthy emotional attachment, and I stayed because it was all that I knew. He was my first boyfriend. He was my first everything.
You stayed because that's all you, bro. There were so many times where I tried to get away from you, but literally at TwitchCon, bro, I was in LA with my boys, bro, and you was literally calling me, telling me that you was finna, and then I get soft around that. I get soft with that shit because I don't want to be responsible. I care about you. I don't want to see you do that to yourself. But when you're calling me, spamming me, saying you're gonna do that, bro, keep in mind, TwitchCon was in San Diego. I was in LA. She started saying she was gonna do that stuff, saying how sad she was. This was when we broke up or whatever, back in TwitchCon last year. And then I drove all the way from LA to San Diego because she kept on threatening to do that to herself. And then, bro, it's just a mess, bro. I have tried to leave several times. Yes, this was a toxic relationship, but stop trying to put the blame on me. You did what you did, and now you're trying to change the narrative to make it seem like I was a toxic, abusive boyfriend. How can
I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna sound like a broken record because I've said this multiple times already. These two people are two people that clearly don't know how to navigate situations and relationships properly, because the first breakup, he was sending, like I said, letters, notes, paragraphs, whatnot, right? So she would attribute that to him being toxic and manipulative, yet chose to exclude the fact that if he wasn't around for certain periods of time, that if she wasn't getting what she wanted in that moment, she was threatening to take away something very precious to her. So now we're in a situation where one person is trying to get their shit off and paint somebody as one way and just cover up all of the insane threats and incidents they are doing as well. Granted, he didn't put any text messages on the stream. He didn't put any, voice messages or nothing. So to be fair, it without proof, what am I to say? I'll at that point, I'm just believing what he said. But if what he's saying is true, then this is a situation of two toxic people who should not have been in a relationship for this long.
I'm buying it though, T. I'm buying it. I'm buying what Kenneth's saying right now, because the main reason is, even without him having evidence,
Right.
I said the main reason I'm buying what he's saying is the way he's debunking her, and the facts that he's bringing on his timeline is the stuff that she avoided.
Right.
In 2024, she said they were on and off, but she didn't say why they were on and off. She didn't say what transpired between that. He's bringing the context in between. He said where he was somewhere, she was somewhere, and she was calling, saying crazy things, and so he had to go see her because he cared about her. He didn't want nothing to happen to her. But that's S-tier manipulation. She was just manipulating this man.
And I met him when I was 18, just graduated high school, and he was 21. There's two sides.
Okay, that right there was fucking weird. I didn't call that out last night. I didn't call that out last night. You did, but after his laying that right there was fucking weird.
Yeah. Cause was you spawn camping? He had to be spawn camping.
That's just a weird thing to bring up. Just, oh yeah, and also I was 18 when he was 21. Jab, jab. Yeah. Let's get back to him being a terrible person.
sex.
Nah, bruh. That was weird.
I met him when I was 18, just graduated high school, and he was 21. First of all, you was a freshman in college, and I just turned 21, and I was literally a junior in college. Okay, now
Yeah,
I don't even know why that like you try to make it seem like I was like, no, I did not mess with you before you were 18. I messed with you after. Once you were in college, bro. Like, what's going on right now? Like, you're trying so hard to make me look weird and to shift the focus, but bro, stop it, bro. It's not gonna work, bro.
He playing D.
Our relationship was unhealthy on both ends, and since he's decided to bring my wrongdoings onto the internet, I believe it is only fair that I bring attention to the things that he has done to me.
Here we go.
My ex was never a saint like he paints himself out to be. We had a lot of arguments throughout our relationship, which
Slide
was
them
normal,
feet.
but what wasn't normal was the verbal, mental, and physical abuse that he subjected me to.
Hey, by the way, y'all notice how she's reading the script, right? Like, can y'all?
Yes,
like, I
bro.
wish I could just
Her
zoom
eyes
in her
are wondering
eyes,
every time.
these
That's the first
soulless,
thing I saw
evil
last night.
eyes, and just see the fucking script on her PC screen, bro. This is sickening, bro. Like,
Yeah,
these
you called this
niggas
out
really
last night.
emailed her talk about, we gonna save
just
you.
too
All you gotta
bad,
do is
'cause,
sign
like,
your soul away. Her
one
soul
second,
is
see,
gone.
I would say if you really got a policy, even if you have PR, if you have something on your heart and you really like got something you want to say, you're not gonna be on that script like she was. Like everything she said was a part of a script, like 100%. Everything was scripted, and that's why like it's getting debunked now. Like she getting her ass locked up right now. I ain't gonna lie. Kawhi just came in.
Like I said last night, it's not wrong to have a script because with something this serious and something that demands this level of response, it's not wrong to have things written down, have things planned. But then the problem becomes of how you did it, how it's structured, and what your overall, takeaway in what you're trying to get out of the situation, which we have shown multiple times has been to save face and try to cover up your wrongdoings or push them to the side and bring his and amplify them.
Yeah, I say this is more of a diversion of anything.
He put me through a lot in the past 2.5 years of us being together. He even forced himself on me at one point.
Say wallahi. Yo. First of all, I've never forced myself on her. I've never forced myself on her. I've never put my hands on her. I've never done any of the sort, my nigga. First of all, this girl was literally like, I don't know what's the word, like over sexual or like overly freaky. But bro, she literally would force me to drink.
Whoa.
Do you think it was weird of you to force me to smoke/drink? I never smoked a full blunt before. How often you smoke? I smoked my last one. And smoked where? I smoked a lot without you knowing for the past year.
Yo.
I ain't gonna lie.
This goes back to the parenting. This still goes back to the parenting. And what she started when she was with her cousin, like the horrible influence that was on her, she was putting on her at the time boyfriend.
Right.
Like that man said he ain't never smoked, never drunk, and you just putting this bad influence on him?
Right. If anything, he should be trying to get you out of it.
What?
So you was spending your money on weed every week? Not really. Like a bit would last me a good while. Because remember, at the end of the day, I'm a lightweight. I never smoked a full blunt before. I only take some hits. Do you think it was weird of you to force me to smoke/drink? Yes. That's why I stopped with the smoking and I told you close to before we broke up that I want us to only drink for special occasions, and I meant that.
I have African parents and I don't fuck with that shit. I remember there was a time she even forced me to get my matching tattoo. There was a time, I think it was at the tattoo shop or whatever. I was on a double date. It was me, her, and two girls. They were gay or whatever. And bro, she was getting on me because I told her I did not want to smoke and drink, bro. She was literally in the hallway crashing out on me because I did not want to smoke and drink. This girl was a bad influence, always trying to force me to smoke and drink every fucking time she seen me, bruh. Because she didn't know how to do anything, process or have fun without that shit, bruh. Like, I just don't fuck with that shit. I don't fuck with smoking or drinking, but, I just thought, she's my ex or whatever. At the time, she was my girl, whatever. I was like, you know what, bruh? Fuck it, bruh. She wants to do it, then fuck it, bruh. I'm gonna do it with her. But I never did that shit just to do it, bruh. I don't fuck with that shit.
Told her how I gotta hold you accountable now because I ain't gonna lie, you ain't had to do shit. You ain't had to do shit, to be honest with you.
Nothing.
Like, I don't care how much she begged, how much manipulation tactics she used, nigga. At the end of the day, nigga, you don't gotta pick up. You're a grown ass man. You don't have to pick any of that shit up. You can tell her tough titty. And if it's tough titty, nigga, end it. Like you said, you don't play that shit. Your folks don't play that shit. So if you're getting put in a situation where you're caving to peer pressure, you gotta relax. You gotta be cunning enough. You gotta be aware enough to be like, okay, this is something I've never done. This woman is doing it. I don't want to play that shit. Because, so for a lot of people, myself included, once I find out that's what you're doing, it's over. It's over. I don't care how much emotional investment is put in. I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care how fun you think you are. The moment that is brought up, because I don't smoke or drink, the moment that something like that is apparent, And to the fact that you've been hiding majority of when you do it, that's a deal breaker. I don't know if there's enough budging in the world I could do to justify casually drinking and smoking. I just can't do it. Obviously he can, right? Because he did. If these are something you stand heavily against, and to the point where you brought up in text message and asked her if she felt like it was wrong, then clearly you have some sort of opposition to it. So my nigga, you don't need to be folding for this. I don't care how much investment, I don't care how pretty you think she is, I don't care because you're your girl. You gotta stand on your 10 toes. I will give that. You gotta stand on your 10 toes. You can't fold, bro. You just can't.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's just when I was like, she said it was her and her two friends that were, I guess, gay or bisexual or whatever may have you. So they all gang up on him. They're like, oh, why don't you smoke? Why don't you drink? And she's probably like, yeah, you need to start smoking more. You need to drink more. It's one of those things, like right there, he should have been like, nah, that's not me. I don't do that. He could have left it right there. Now, if she pressed the issue, which she probably did because she's toxic, like you should have just left right there. Like just walked out. The fact that somebody is trying to force you to do something that you don't want to do, that's that manipulation. And then she starts crying or screaming or whatever to get you to do something that she wants you to do. Dude, she is a real narcissist. As far as what I'm hearing right now, she is like the orchestrator of the toxicity. Even though they both got toxic, she sounds like she's the aggressor.
For example, he would punch things, he would rip wires in the heat of conflicts. He would yell at me when I cried.
I would punch things, my nigga. I've never punched shit. What are you talking about, bruh? And yes, I ain't gonna lie, early back in the day, I did have like slight anger issues or whatever, but I would never touch her. I would never put my hands on her. But yes, this is already on the internet. Like every single time we break up, she goes to the internet and talks about this shit. Like she's talked about this already. So why is she bringing this up again to make me look bad? Like we're not forgetting the fucking bucket list, bro. We're not forgetting how you fucking cheated on me with your cousin. But whatever, keep going.
Gaslit me until I believed I was the problem. There were 2 or 3 times where my ex would approach me unprovoked and put me in a chokehold against the wall. And
put you in a chokehold? Like you're making me seem like I'm the fucking like I'm a fucking devil. Put you in a chokehold.
In a chokehold.
Does that, yo, like anybody that knows me in real life, does that even sound like something I would do? You're telling me I would walk up to you and just fucking put you in a chokehold? Like how are you saying this with a straight face? This got to be a script.
Scared, and he wouldn't. The next thing I'm about to say are serious allegations that I know men often get falsely accused of.
Falsely accused. So you're about to falsely accuse me like every other girl does to niggas, bro. Let's see what you got to say.
Slide them feet.
All I can do is come on here, tell my truth, tell my story, whether you want to believe it or not. There was a time when me and my ex were drinking, and he forced himself onto me.
Every single time we drank, she forced me to drink. Every single time we drank, she forced me to drink. She would always say, I want to see you blackout drunk. I want to see you drunk. I want you to just get loose.
Tom, nigga, you is a grown ass man letting a woman to force you to get blackout drunk. You have to at some point, you have to take responsibility in your well-being. That is not healthy to do. When you're blackout drunk, you're not aware. You can't do anything. If there's an emergency, you can't respond. As a man, you shouldn't be getting blackout drunk. But just saying that she forced you to get blackout drunk, no, bro. You picked the cup up, bro. Ain't nobody picked the bottle up but you. You picked the bottle up. You lifted it to your mouth. You chose to consume the alcohol. She didn't force you to get drunk. You got drunk. Now, was it heavy influence? Yes. But you got drunk, bro. You have to take responsibility for that.
Right. And I'm not also going to absolve her for the amount of peer pressure, the amount of tactics that she used. But at the end of the day, this is a situation of 2 people trying to make something work that clearly shouldn't. She was trying to force him to do something he doesn't want, and he's just sitting there folded. There's just no right turns in this. Everything went left to the point where she is now on the internet about to accuse you of assaulting her while y'all were both drunk. Something that you did willingly and she was coercing. So now we're in a situation where she's about to put you on blast and all you have to do is just sit here and see how you can defend yourself.
And do whatever. But that's not the point, because I've never forced myself onto you. Never. Every single time we did something, we had consent. You know why? You know why? Because you're the overly sexual one. I'm a nonchalant ass nigga. I'd be chilling in my own world. And I think that's what made you mad. I think that's what made you think I don't like you, because I'm not always trying to fuck. I'm not always trying to have sex because I believe there's more to just sex, bro. You're always, every single day. Like, bro, when we were long distance, we was literally cracking every single day, 2 times a day. In the moment I told her I don't want to do it. I can't do it. She would gaslight me, say I don't love her. She would start crying. She would just force me, bro.
Hey, yo.
And then when she moved over here, obviously I see her every single day. So it's impossible to do that shit every single day. And I think that's what got in her head. And that's when she started saying stuff like, I thought you didn't like me no more. I thought you never touched me no more. And that's when I guess she cheated on me with her cousin, but I don't know. Like, that's just what she wants y'all to believe, bro.
Footage of the blood on the scene and a graphic photo of the damage that resulted.
Let me see this. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
We saw this last night.
This is crazy.
We saw this last
This
night.
is crazy. Yeah. I was saying, that nigga gotta put them hands up. You gotta put some D right here. Cause this shit crazy. You gotta put some D right here.
Yeah, this is July 13th, 2024. She has the location of where it happened, and she has what seems to be blood and bodily fluids on the floor.
Okay. So, Saturday, July 13th, okay? 2 days before your birthday. There's blood on the floor, right? There's no way out of this one. Tell me why July 18th, the same year, by the way, a couple days after your birthday, there's blood on the sheets and on the pillows. You know why?
Whoa. On the sheets. Only one way.
I don't, no, I'm speechless. I don't know.
Why? Because you're a freak and you always wanted me to crack. Always. Even when you was on, your period. That time of the month. You thought if I didn't do it, I would think of you.
Come in, baby. Don't bleed everywhere. I'm bleeding everywhere. You still better D me down, bleeding all. I ain't do all this work for nothing.
Hey man, Kenneth getting the DPO out right now, bro. This defense is top tier. Now, what I will say, this isn't the exact date of what happened, but the fact that he has evidence of it happening at another time helps his case. Like, she's so freaked out, she even wanted on her period while she's constantly bleeding on her, even when her flow is heavy. Women have different flows, and I don't know all that stuff about all that, but they have different flows. Sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot, and she don't care at all.
You thought if I didn't do it, I would think of you as disgusting. I didn't love you. So you know what? That's when I explored that and we started doing that. And I always had consent because that's what you wanted. You liked doing vampire sex. So what's on the floor is not the results of me doing that to you. That's just consent and what we had going on. I would never force myself onto you. I always had consent. I had proof from you. You always expressed how you wanted to do it during that time of month. And we did. The proof is in the pudding, bruh. So you're telling me July 13th. You're telling me what? Like fucking, cause this is a hotel, by the way. The sheets get changed. Shit gets clean. So you're telling me 13 to 18. 5 days later, I did it again. I did it again to you. I did the same exact thing I did on the 13th, on the 18th again to you. But aside from that, we broke up tons of times and she...
One more thing before he pivots. That's a crazy accusation to throw on somebody if not true.
I'm talking about... She did a Curry no look and didn't even watch it go in the goal. She didn't even watch it go to the rim. She just turned around, threw this shit up.
If this turns out to be not true or, exaggerated to where, because there's a difference between assault and misconduct at the end of the day. He could have thought it was a green light. She could have thought it was a red light, but it wasn't explicitly stated. There are situations where stuff like that happens, where it's not directly stated.
Apparently it's a red light, though.
Where there's situations where there's gray areas. There's gray areas in this stuff all the time. So for that to be one of her full counters, one of her driving forces, one of the biggest gotchas that she has pulled out so far in this video is kind of insane, because it kind of feels like the same stain she got for being the streamer that messed with her cousin is the same stain that she's trying to put on him, the guy that sexually assaulted. That's what it feels like this is trying to get to, because it gets to the point where she has the story, she has the pictures, and then he also has his own individual set from 5 days later. So now it's just what's going on here? What legs does this have to stand on? And how much of this is honestly just a deflection from everything she did? I honestly, regardless of whether she is telling the truth or not, this has nothing to do with her cheating on this guy with her cousin.
And that's the main thing. You cheated with your cousin. There's no timeline on how long you've been doing it. And apparently, learning from Kenneth, she's overly freaked out. The only way that happens if you have a lot of sex and you get into that sexual stuff at a really young age, which she probably got into with her cousin, with resulting her probably being a gooner and watching porn and being sexually just crazy. Like he said 2 times a day, all the time, every time I saw you. Like, and when he stopped touching you or he just wasn't in the mood that day, you thought he didn't love you, and you would try to manipulate him again into like doing it, even when
Right.
he wasn't in the mood.
Yeah, it's just like what you said with the timeline thing. A lot of her points against him were in like 2024. Like a lot of the things that she was bringing to the forefront were in the early parts of her relationship, to where the breakup was mostly his fault, to where, you know, he was bringing out letters and trying to apologize. His timeline is more from then to now, all of it. Like everything that in between, the evidence he's bringing up is, you know, building a better picture than anything she's doing, which is why I'm kind of leaning towards him, because simply put, his is more structured and he's not even reading the script.
Nope, this is all real.
It's just, I don't want to downplay somebody's feelings of if they were assaulted or not or anything. But based on everything we've seen, all the original video he put out, the counter video she put out, and now this video here, now it's just putting the situation to where, again, she has this PR team behind her. She's clearly reading off the script, and she is trying to save face and bring this guy down with her. And this guy can do nothing but sit here and defend himself. Maybe, like I said, this is a toxic relationship that shouldn't have lasted as long as it should have. And now we got to hear about it.
Always ran to the internet. Why, if this really happened, why was this never a talking point in every single time you streamed? Why, matter of fact, why was this never brought to the police? Why is this only coming to the light now? I bet $100,000 that nobody in the world can say that you told them this. This is false. This is cap. And I know this is what the fucking reputation savers told you to look for. Any proof of fucking violence or SA. Like, you're sick and you're not gonna manipulate these people, bro. You're not gonna do that, bro. Fuck no.
This was a memory of mine that was heavily repressed because I didn't know how to process it at the time, and I was very oblivious to what a healthy relationship was supposed to look like. After 1 year of mental torment and trying to get my ex to change to no avail, I left. Here's proof of my ex admitting to his anger issues and admitting to the abuse that led to the fallout of our
See,
relationship.
this is the part that threw me off. When she started, it was the messages and the notes, which we gonna get to, but this like completely threw me off of her path that she was going on. And this is when I knew, like, okay, now it's getting fishy. Because it seems like he wants you back, but you said he admitted to what he did, but it's just the way. It's just the framing of it. It's just a frame. Like, it out of context, maybe, but you dig deeper and you read. When we read all of it, we was like, well, I'm not really getting that he did something to you. I feel like he's apologizing because, like, maybe y'all broke up, maybe y'all got into an argument. But yeah, you can proceed.
Yeah, and then we know this is from the first breakup because we had the dates and all that stuff. I mean, if anybody who wants to read through this, you can. I will put everything on screen. Boom, right here. Like I said, October 9th, 2024. He's covering some of it, but if you want to stop, pause, and read, you can. And then this is more from October 2024, again, when the first breakup happened. So this is something that she claimed that he was narcissistic. We agreed this is narcissistic behavior, and that apparently, in her words, he did not change, yet she stayed in a relationship due to trauma. So now we have a situation where she attributes staying in this relationship to trauma, even though she has left before, he has left before, he has tried to get away, she has tried to get away, but somehow, some way, they always find themselves back with each other. So, I don't know, man.
This was like our first breakup, by the way. We have like 4 more where I broke up with her and whatever.
Letters that he wrote for me.
We need those.
Confessed to the wrongdoing.
Now,
By the way,
this
this
is
has
what's
nothing
crazy.
to-
This
Yeah.
is what's crazy. See, when I was reading this last night, I never got any gist that he was apologizing for something that he did. It might have been like something like relationship wise, but as far as the essay, as you were saying, oh, he apologized for assaulting me and verbal assault. Now, he admitted in there that he said he was called, like, but he never called, like, I guess he was trying to go as far as say, like, he has a history of verbal abuse and something.
Right.
Because, like, you see right there, it says, when I get angry, I become different. I become a different person. I start calling people out of their names. As people were telling me when I got angry, I said, this is more of a like self-realization that he was having. He was just telling you that, like, something he was doing to you. Because that's what we're here for. We're not here for like what he did with his exes, what you did with your exes. All we know about is you messing with your cousin and y'all having a relationship and you blaming it on him and he blaming it on you. And this has to be debunked. And as far as like the evidence that she's bringing forth, this is all just stuff that's like she's trying to stay afloat.
I'm about to say,
You know,
the most of this is irrelevant. At the end of the day, most of this is irrelevant because this has nothing to do with your cousin. It has nothing to do with the bond you formed with him. I mean, in our video last night, we had to put 2 and 2 together. We are the ones who was like, okay, there are things that she wanted from Kenneth, but she was not getting from him. So she found those things in her cousin to the point where she felt comfortable enough to play both sides of the fence. She was still sitting in his house while also having sexual relationships with her cousin. We have to put that together. That's not something that she was outright saying or anything. That is something we have to put two and two together based on the situation and the information she gave us and how she felt emotional. This right here, these notes, like we've already been over this in our last VOD. This is something that happened after the first breakup. And according to her, out of her own mouth, the cousin shit was recent. This right here is 2024. This right here isn't June 2026. This is October of 2024 or a little bit in March. I think this is more specifically March. So bringing this up to kind of like, you know, knock the trail off the fact that you were messing with your cousin for something that happened 2 years prior is kind of weird. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. We got to hold her accountable for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna touch on what you spoke on just a couple minutes ago. Like, we came to that conclusion, like maybe because we were going off what she was saying, as far as like
Right.
she was damaged emotionally and she didn't know what to do, and she just got this bond with her cousin.
Right.
Now, hearing Kenneth's side, it sounded like Kenneth was there for her. They used to talk. He faded away sexually because the sex was too much. Like, she wanted to have sex that much. She got to the point she went look, just like we said, like emotionally she was looking for other places. I think she went looking sexually in other places, which happened to be her cousin for some reason. I don't know why, but I feel like that's what, like, we're breaking it down. I feel like that's what happened. Now, she has to be the one to admit something like that. We don't know why, the exact reason. She never gave the exact reason. Like, if she chooses to reveal it, she don't, so be it. And I still feel like we do need the cousin side. I don't know if he has a YouTube or whatever, but I feel like that side is needed to, like, clear, like, probably like 75% of what the whole thing is. Like, because we don't know what, like, the timeline of her and the cousin is so, like, that's like the main thing that we need, and the main thing she won't even talk about. When did it start? Like, truly, when did it start?
I'm very grateful for everything my ex bought for me. However, I don't
What, nigga? What? You're the last person. Bro, hold on.
appreciate insisting that I was freeloading off of him when everything he ever did was his choice. And I don't
Everything I did was my choice. Everything
Which is
I
true.
did was my choice. Are you fucking dead ass? You know how much money I spent on you?
Doesn't
And you're
matter,
saying
you
that
still
was
spent it.
my choice? Bruh,
Yeah.
I did everything for you. You got a car that didn't even fucking work. So you know what I did? I helped you take it to the shop and paid for everything.
Out
You
of your
missed
own volition.
flights that you were supposed to make on time. And because you were stranded at the airport, you know what you did? You called me so I could pay for those flights. But even if you didn't call me to pay for those flights, you had other people paying for you. Your mod manager, his name is X. I don't know who the fuck he is, but I would go to your Cash App and you had thousands sent to you. And meanwhile, I'm working my ass off. You had money on the side coming from this nigga, and you just don't even help. You just, I don't know what it went to or what you did with that money, but you just had money coming in from multiple other guys. And I'm guessing that's why you're saying that you didn't even fucking like ask me to help you because you had money from other guys. The whole time you was asking me, you was asking me to buy you food, you asked me to buy you this, take you there, buy you flights, take you to Universal Studios, $2,000 trip by the way, pay for everything, flights, everything. But okay. All right.
believe a relationship should
We'll say this once again. She didn't rob you. She didn't put a gun to your face. She didn't threaten your life. You went and paid for these things yourself. So for you to complain, oh, I spent so much money. Oh, the $2,000 Universal trip. Gang, that's you. At the end of the day, that's you. At the end of the day, you willingly chose to do that. You willingly chose to stay in this relationship where you knew you were going to be paying majority of the cost. Where you knew you was going to be paying all of the house bills, the light bill, the water bill. You knew that once you got this girl in your house, she wasn't going to pay for anything and that she was getting money from other people. That's you. You can't deflect that onto her at all. That is something that you chose to do, just like you let her let you drink and smoke. That is up to you. That is on you. Of course, she has her wrongdoings in all of this. Of course she does. But you need to hold yourself accountable as well.
After all these gestures, I took my ex back in February of 2025. And in March of that year, after leaving him from the airport, I was set into a spiral of losing myself and wanting to seek therapy.
Like, I just don't know what I'm doing anymore, but like, I feel
Like, bro, this doesn't show nothing, bro. Like, bro, yes, we've broken up many times and you went to the airport, but every single time I would come and bring you back, that's like, we was toxic. Yes, we had a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
We had a toxic relationship. The internet already knew that. You brought this to the internet many times. There's clips of you talk about me lying on me already, bro. I had sent this video to a friend. By the way, she sent this to the guy who sends her every single dollar she had to her name. His name was Etz. He basically was a sugar daddy that she didn't really talk to me about. She would FaceTime him at times. I really wish I knew what they were FaceTiming about. Maybe it was some cousin shit, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of times she would say this is her friend, but nah, it's her sugar daddy. Because you know why? Because he would often pay for her Ubers, pay for her rebookings if she missed a flight, pay for all of that.
At the end of the day, I chose to stay in this relationship and I made my mistakes. I regret everything.
Like, I hate how you're trying to make it seem like you was trapped in here, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, I fought demons to leave your ass, bro. I fought fucking demons to leave you, nigga. I was fighting demons, bro. Everybody that knows me knows that you, like, manipulated me and I was fighting demons. I tried leaving several times, bro. Several times, but each time I tried to leave, it was, Kenneth, please, I'm about to manipulation, bro. Like, it's just like.
And final thing I would like to discuss is my mental health. Throughout everything that has happened, I have come to terms with the fact that I suffer with depression.
Depression. What type of depression makes you send news to your cousin? What type of depression makes you lie to me that you're going to stream in Kentucky just to hang out with your cousin? What type of depression does that, bruh? That's not depression. Why do girls always play the I'm depressed? I'm depressed, so I went ahead and spread my legs and took pictures down there to send to my cousin because I'm depressed. In my house, by the way, in the other room, by the way, door is locked. I always wondered why the doors were locked, but you know, it makes sense now. It makes
too many signs, gang. Too many signs. Too many signs.
First off, I want to say that depression is something that should never be played with lightly, because a lot of people will get on this app, will get on other social media platforms and use this word and not realize the amount of power and the amount of weight it carries. We should never downplay somebody's depression, how they feel, and we should never, ever use that word lightly, because that is a serious thing. It's no different than somebody saying sexual assault. That is a heavy damnant on somebody's character. That is a heavy accusation to put on somebody, and you can't just throw it out willy-nilly. The same goes for depression. People can feel down on their luck, people can feel bad about themselves, but true depression is a level that, unless you've experienced it yourself, or if you've seen somebody go through the hell that is, that you wouldn't truly understand what that was. So for her to come on here and try to use depression as like this sympathy tactic, because at the end of the day, it could have been true depression. I don't know. Everybody's level is different. Everybody's line is different. Everybody's breaking point is different. But at the end of the day, we've seen too much evidence of you post on your story of coming out of a mental health center. And then we seen you come out here, start a video by saying, I'm sorry. Then spent 80% of it talking about how this guy is a piece of shit. Then to just circle back to, oh, I'm depressed. It makes it very hard to lean in your favor. It makes it really hard to trust that what you're telling me is true, because we've seen proof of your PR management, we've seen proof of how you post, we've seen proof of how you like to act. So now you're putting yourself in a situation where like you're trying to pull this depression trump card, because regardless of how it is, most people are going to believe you if you say one of these two things. If you claim somebody a sexual assault, people are usually going to drop everything and believe. And if you claim depression, people are also going to reach out and bring you sympathy points as well. She used two of the big three in this discussion to try to give her favor and try to push down Kenneth. And that's just something that had nothing to do with what he brought to the internet. At the end of the day, his original video was, this girl cheated on me with her blood cousin. This is how I found out, and this is how I feel. So for you to come on the internet and be like, I'm sorry for what I did, and I know everything I'm about to say has nothing to do with me having sexual relations with my cousin, but here you go, this guy's a piece of shit. And then for you to end it with, well, I was depressed though. My mental health was in crisis. And I've seen the original video. We've all seen the original video. The video ends with her saying, I am going to be an advocate for mental health and depression. I am going to not turn off the internet. I am not going to get off the internet. I'm going to stay on the internet. And while I make my content, I am also going to be an advocate for mental health awareness. So for you to come on here and do it in that order, in that fashion, is honestly sickening. But I will say what I said in the other video, because the other video is probably going to get combined with this one. No one is beyond change. It's one of the hardest things for people to do. It's one of the most difficult and strongest things we can do as people, changing for the better good. So there's no doubt in my mind that if she worked hard enough, that she moved in the right ways eventually, because this is not the right way to do it, that you can be absolved for this, that you are not beyond redemption. You can move better. There are people who've gotten out of worse. But for this to be your start, for this to be how you began, this is how you came back to the internet after getting off of it. It's not a good start, and you should do everything in your power to try to make up for this. You should do everything in your power to move better as a person, because bringing up depression and sexual assault and not having anything super crazy or anything that he can counter is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Shout out Kenneth, 5-star defender today. Not gonna lie, that's defense. That's good defense.
Right.
I wouldn't say defense. Shoot, she was turning the ball over because he really got to the point where he could take it and start putting up shots. Everything she brought up, he instantly debunked.
But alright guys, let us know how you feel in the comment section below. Who do you feel has brought a better argument, who has brought a better layer, who has brought a better presentation to the table? And I'm not gonna ask who you lean on more, Team Kenneth or Team Catalina. I don't care about any of that. What I want to know is, like, where are your lines? Where you draw lines? Is this a situation you would have been in? Is this a situation you would have cut off? Basically, how you would have handled this situation if you were in it. I would love to know in the comment section below. But that's going to be the end of this. Hopefully, this is the end of the Catalina Kenneth saga. If not, I guess I got to get back up and cover this again. But hopefully, this is the end. If you are new to this channel and you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, we recorded this live on Twitch, so the Twitch will be in the description as well. I have been T-Bangs. This has been my co-host, J-Dub, and we are the Afterthought Duo. And we will see you in the next video.